Well, hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the Brian Hornback podcast. And again, we're still working on the jingle at some point. But want to encourage you, start out this episode 4 with encouraging you to go visit my friend Stokes Nielsen at his podcast, Stokes and Friends. He's on Apple Podcast, so just search for Stokes, Stokes, and A-N-D, Friends, Friends. On Instagram, it's just like that, Stokes and Friends. So go check out Stokes Nielsen and Stokes and Friends podcast. He interviews a lot of up-and-coming music artists, and that's where his friends is from the music industry. So go check out Stokes and Friends podcast. All right, it's the week before Thanksgiving. This is Tuesday, November the 17th. County Commission met last night and ultimately did change public forum. There really wasn't much opposition to it. It was kind of revealing in the discussion. Commissioner Daly had mentioned that they were wanting to do this since March. I would think that the people that have been coming to a public forum for the last couple of 3 months might want to go back and look at the Rules Committee meetings to verify that. But basically, I guess the First Amendment only applies to residents and property owners in Knox County because basically that's what one of the changes in public forum did was it was just for citizens. Commissioner Ward brought up an objection because he is a businessman, owns property in other areas, other counties, communities, and so Commissioner Randy Smith changed that and added the word "and property owners." So that will now any citizen or property owner of Knox County can address the county commission 3 to 5 minutes. In the past, it's been a hard and fast rule for 5 minutes. Commissioner Richie Beeler supported the change to 3 to 5 minutes because he said that as when the meeting would get to about 1:30 or so, it wouldn't have the commissioners wouldn't have their full attention. I just don't know what to say about that. It really bothers me that folks that go out and campaign for public office, one, would actually make the comment that maybe they only got elected to serve until midnight, 12:30, and don't want to hear from everybody. And I think that's troubling. But it is what it is. Folks say things that they really mean when they're not really thinking, and it happens for public officials as well. The ongoing situation, there was, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 people. I didn't keep count when they met last night for how many people spoke at public forum, but one individual public forum indicated that they had communication or had seen communication from Law Director David Book that Commissioner Jay violated the law last week last month, in October 26th, when the live feed got cut off from community television before the meeting adjourned. I may ask the law director's office to supply me with that communication. I think that's real interesting. That kind of frank answer would happen. But hey, it's county commission. A lot of things are kind of slowing down this week because of the short week next week with Thanksgiving. But it seems that the pandemic continues to affect Knox County. Seeing a lot more cases happening now than we have in the past. Gibbs Elementary and Gibbs Middle School have officially gone on online learning for the rest of this week, and I would assume into next week. I don't know. I think school, I don't know how long school's going. I assume it's only Monday and Tuesday. But anyway, Knox, Tennessee is still getting hit pretty hard with the pandemic. I saw in the news where Texas has now exceeded, has hit the million people mark on COVID cases. And so that's rather interesting. One thing we really haven't talked about is the presidential election. There's a lot of stuff going on with the presidential election. Obviously, it appears that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have the Electoral College votes. The media has declared them the winner. It looks like President Trump and his team are going to contest quite a few states, and there's some recounts going on. So we'll just see how that plays out. I mean, I really stayed pretty quiet about it because, once elections are over, I might be passionate about a candidate, I might be passionate about a campaign, but once it gets to, and I get involved early. In 2016, I got in real early on supporting Marco Rubio, and once I get committed to my guy or lady, I'm pretty well committed, and by the time election day rolls around, I'm pretty well spent and ready to move on. So we'll see how this continues to play out nationally. It's just it is what it is, and so we'll see how it plays out. I don't get too upset one way or another. We survived 8 years of we Republicans, conservatives. Survived 8 years of Barack Obama and Joe Biden. So, if that's how it happens, and that's how it happens, and we move on. I'll just tell you one thing I haven't said on a podcast, because this is only episode 4, is that, in my opinion, as long as one party has one house and the presidency, and as long as the other party has the other house, gridlock is golden. I like gridlock. I really do like gridlock, because gridlock means they can't mess with us. They can't pass a lot of stuff. And when they start passing a lot of stuff, then we as taxpayers and commoners, we get to suffer. Hey, this is a great time to take a break. I do want to thank those of you that have endured. Now, this is the fourth Brian Hornback podcast. Really do hope, if you'll stick with me, I do believe these will get better. But I'm currently on Anchor FM. I'm on Google Podcast. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Radio Public. I'm on Pocket Cast, and I'm on Breaker. And BJ Martin, by the end of the week, I will be on Apple, I promise. But I'm also on YouTube. And so thank y'all for tuning in and for checking this out. I do want to talk about my good friend Julia Hurley. Julia Hurley is Just Homes Group. It's affiliated with Realty Executives in West Knoxville, at the Farragut office, or close to the Farragut office. You can find Julia at justhomesgroup.com, or better yet, you can just give her a call at 865-237-7328. That's 865-237-7328. That's justhomesgroup.com. If you need to buy or sell or invest or whatever you need to do, give my friend Julia Hurley a call. You will find her, as well as Matlock Tire Service, as well as Interagency Insurance, as well as several other ads on BrianHornback.com, and I do thank you for that. As we go into this second part of the Brian Hornback podcast for episode 4, I kind of promised that I would kind of tell some stories. As I've talked about before, I got involved in politics at a young age, 16 years old. The first campaign I ever worked in was in 1982. Robin Beard was running for the United States Senate against then Jim Sasser. Jim Sasser was a Democrat senator from the state of Tennessee, and it was he had served 6 years, and it was his first time up in 82, and Robin Beard ran against him. And I don't know, my parents weren't political. None of my family were really political. My grandparents weren't political. And so, I don't really know what provoked me at the age of 16 to get involved in the Robin Beard campaign, but I did. And one of the people that was helping lead things up in Knoxville, the Robin Beard campaign, was a lady named Lynn Duncan. And she lived in Holston Hills, which was relatively close to where I grew up. And so I went to Lynn Duncan's home to get some yard signs and bumper stickers and whatnot, and come to find out her husband was Jimmy Duncan, who was the son of Congressman John Duncan, who then would go on to become U.S. Congressman and serve this district for 28 or so years. In my office is a picture of Congressman Duncan and I that he, I've got a lot of pictures of Congressman Duncan and I, but one that while I served as Knox County Republican Party chairman, we were at an event at Foxden Country Club, and I had a photograph taken with him, and he autographed it. So that's one of the pictures that hangs above my painting of the Republican presidents. My friend Sandy Loy, for Christmas one year, gave me this painting of the Republican presidents. And so the picture of Congressman Duncan and I are above that. And then there's a couple of handwritten notes from Zach Wamp and Rick Tucker that are framed with a button that Rick Tucker got Zach Wamp to sign after the 2010 campaign for governor, another race that I got involved in early. So to tell you about the 2010 campaign, I was Republican Party chairman in 2006. And so in 2006, we had a man who's still a friend of mine today, State Senator then, JIM BRyson. He ran against Phil Bredesen for governor, and also Bob Corker ran for the United States Senate. Corker won. He was the only freshman senator in 2006. He was in a freshman Senate class by himself, and so. But as I worked in those two campaigns as the Knox County Republican Party chairman, when that race concluded, I thought to myself, if Zach Wamp, the congressman from Chattanooga, would run for governor, I'm on board. And so, sure enough, he did. And then the Knoxville mayor decided to run, and then the lieutenant governor decided to run, and ultimately Bill Haslam, the mayor of Knoxville, won that race. But Zach and Weston Wamp are still good friends of mine, and that's a race that I met a lot of great people from across the state of Tennessee through the Zach Wamp campaign, and they actually in 2010 put together a group of bloggers and social media folks, and in 2010 you really didn't know a lot about social media and bloggers and that kind of thing, but they did. And I still have some great friendships that came out of that race. I tell you that to tell you that the only other picture that's up there, and it's actually stuck into the presidential painting, is a picture of myself and John Rich of Big and Rich. And that particular picture came to be because John Rich was a supporter of Zach Wamp for governor in 2010. So we got to see John Rich on several occasions during that campaign. And so this photograph that I had taken in 2018, John Rich came through Knoxville. He had just started a line of Redneck Riviera whiskey. and he came to a liquor store, package store, over in East Knoxville, and was selling whiskey. And so I took those pictures, one of me and John Rich, and one of my son, my oldest son, and John Rich, and I had him autograph them. So that picture stuck up there too. So those are the pictures that are hanging in my office right now, particularly right behind my head. And at some point I will maybe show you some of that, but got to get it cleaned up first. But anyway, this is episode 4. Appreciate you coming along. Appreciate you listening. And we'll have something back up on Friday morning for episode 5. Thank y'all. Have a great day. And we turn off YouTube there.